Good Friday morning, folks. Meteorologist Zach Batten for the Bell Park Weather Network. Glad you made it through the week, and if you're here with me this morning, well, good morning. Got a fair bit to talk about this morning, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Looking at our headlines, featuring our sunset from last night via our Amplex Internet Skycam. Looking at rain through the day today. Most of you probably, particularly in the west half and northwest half of the area, are already seeing rain this morning. That will move through during the day and eventually clear out later this evening. That leads us into a dry but cooler weekend, though Saturday, not too bad. Sunday, better than Saturday. We're keeping our eyes on a potent system that's going to move through early week, so any potential travel plans for your Thanksgiving, you'll want to keep an eye on that. We're not expecting much in the way of, snow or anything like that. It's mostly just going to be rain this go around. By the end of the week, though, much colder air moves in, and we'll give you an update on what we're seeing for any possible storms or systems through the end of next week. So let's go ahead and get into your temperatures for the day today. You see, we're starting off fairly mild, thanks to the cloud cover that moves in overnight that keeps the air a little bit warmer. You don't get as much cooling overnight. The clouds kind of act like a blanket over the ground, so it keeps things a little bit warmer. As we move through the day, though, and that rain kind of moves through the area, you see that cooler air really start to move in behind it. This is 5 o'clock this evening, so things are definitely cooling down, and there's going to be a fairly large discrepancy between the northwest portion of the area and the southeast areas. As we move through Friday evening and into early Saturday morning, you can see that cooler air really filters in, and it's going to be a little bit breezy, especially in the kind of northwest portions of the area. So it will feel like you're in the 20s, even if the temperatures don't necessarily make it to the 20s, though they may in some spots anyway. As we move through the afternoon on Saturday, right here is noon. Temperatures attempt to rebound a little bit, but they don't make it too far, mid to upper 40s for most of us. And then, as I mentioned, as we go into Sunday, which we'll take a look at here in a little bit, things do get a little bit warmer. If we take a look at, I figure out where I'm going here we are. The radar, simulated radar through the morning and then the rest of the day here. So here's 7 a.m. this morning. You'll notice the heavier rain kind of just working its way through. And as we continue through the afternoon, that rain steadily moves off to the east. Rain total wise, we're looking anywhere from half inch to an inch for most of us. There's a few areas, particularly north central Ohio and into northeast Ohio, that may pick up a little bit more, an inch plus in some cases. But for the most part, half inch to an inch, maybe what ends up being a little bit less than half an inch in the northwest portion of the state here, as most of the heavy rain tends to fall to the south and to the east. As we move through the rest of the day, Friday, and early Saturday morning, that rain moves out, and the rest of the weekend is dry, so not expecting any more issues until early the coming week. And as we go take a look at that, if I can click the right button here is Saturday evening, so this is 7 o'clock Saturday. As we progress into Sunday, you'll notice not much really going on because, we're dry. So that's exciting. As we move through the day Monday, our next system begins to move in. This is early Tuesday morning, so 1 a.m. Tuesday morning. Some rain moves through, but the bulk of the system looks to move in early Tuesday and kind of hang out with us through the day on Tuesday. You'll notice some of that blue showing up here, particularly in southern Michigan. It's not out of the realm of possibility. We see a few snow showers, and then we'll likely see some lake effect snow here in the normal lake effect snow regions in northeast Ohio. But at the moment, it doesn't look like we're going to see too much in the way of anything crazy. But that's definitely something we'll keep an eye on. You can see really, this area up here is where we're going to have to watch for any potential accumulation, but given it's been so warm this week, it's going to take a fair bit to get that accumulation with the ground as warm as it is. As we continue to move on through, we're now through Thanksgiving and into Friday. You see that lake effect snow still kind of hanging around. And again, some hints at maybe some snow during the day Saturday, but still the way it looks now and the way kind of the pattern is setting up still doesn't look like significant accumulation for that go around. And then you see what appears to be a more potent system moving in during the day on Sunday. Again, this is one of those scenarios where it just has been flipping back and forth fairly frequently. This system yesterday, when we looked at this, was actually coming through Monday. Now it's here on Sunday. So just more reason to reiterate that instead of looking at, oh, it's going to snow on Sunday, we look more at the pattern that says, okay, so we know we have the cold air in place. We know that there's the potential for some precipitation, whether it end up being rain or snow. We don't know where it sets up, how much, any of that. It's way too early to tell. There's still a lot of variability between all the models, so trying to predict anything this far out is pretty much just a waste of time. So as we move through, the same kind of pattern continues. A few systems move through. We still hang on to that cold air, so that would suggest snow. But again, it's just a pattern. We don't know any specifics, and we won't for a while yet. As you can see, by the first week of December, we're back into rain. So there's still a lot all over the place, a lot to be decided. If we take a look at temperatures through next week, we'll give you a peek at that cold air as it moves through. So this is now into Sunday. See, Sunday not looking too hateful, warmer than Saturday, but as we move through the week, we still get a little bit more of that warm air, especially as the low pressure at the moment is off to our southwest, and it's just kind of funneling the warmer air up through our area. And then you see how quickly, when that system moves through late Tuesday night and Wednesday morning, how quickly that cold air rushes in. And we're probably looking at potentially our coldest air of the season. And as we move through, that cold air really just kind of hangs on for a while there. So this is why we're pretty confident in the colder air, because that's been pretty consistent. And then it does kind of lend itself to some snow just because it's going to be so cold. But what's still uncertain is, how much moisture is in the air, timing of different systems, where does the low pressure track, and all of that kind of stuff is still bouncing back and forth, which is part of the reason, it's way too early to give any kind of predictions on what we might see by the end of the next week or into next weekend outside of the cold air. So thank you all for hanging out with me on this Friday morning. I will see everyone Monday morning. And if we go through the weekend and kind of start to look at more data and maybe get a clearer picture of what we can expect next week, there will maybe be a separate video sometime this weekend, but we'll probably send a push notification through the app if that is the case. So if you don't have our app, make sure you go ahead and get it. That's the Ohio News and Weather app. You can get it on Apple and Android devices. So if you don't have that, go download it. And until Monday morning, have a great weekend, everyone.